ASMR, David. I'm
Oh, that
clearly
does.
autistic because I need sensory inputs in audio so I'm not deprived of sound so that I don't fidget.
I think the ASMR thing.
Can you sit completely still? Like, can you sit completely still and not like fucking bounce your knee or move your
Sure.
hands or
Yeah. Yeah. Hell
like
yeah.
naturally though, not like I mean naturally you naturally don't fucking fuck with like you don't roll up. Big thing I am, David. My sweatpants strings, I roll them up. Like I'll be sitting there just rolling them up.
Yeah. No, I can kind of just hang
I
out.
don't even know. Yeah, I'll kinda just have fucking fidget.
We've talked about. I think you've told me about. I don't know. You said something before about just like sitting in a room with your thoughts, and I thought I could pull that off.
Did you try it yet or no?
No, but I 100% could pull that off.
I was actually told by somebody once, this was, Melody's grandfather, actually. He told me he went through some crazy shit, and he ended up living in a tent outside for, like, I don't know how long, but it was, you know, around a month, I would say, and then he, like, started living with people. It was in the middle of the summer, fall, whatever the fuck it was. But he told me that he spent 3 days alone. He, like, drove down to, like, Letchworth State Park and put a tent up and slept in the state park in a tent for 3 days. And he's, like, a big guy, so, like, he didn't need to, like, eat a lot of food. He basically just brought water and, like, some chips and fucking hung out for 3 days. And he's like, "It's hard to sit with yourself." He's like, "When there's nobody there," he left his phone off, like, nothing. He's like, "I literally just sat outside alone."
I will
He
say,
ventured, he went for walks and shit and, like, fucked around in nature, but he'd, like, literally be alone in his thoughts. He went nowhere in the middle of the park so that you know what I mean? Like, he's like, it's you get dark, dude." He's like, "It's fucking hard to sit there with yourself if you're not." You gotta really be a powerful state of mind to be able to sit with yourself in your darkness.
I was thinking like anytime I hear something like that, there's always two reactions, and it's always like it's like it's very extreme differences. It's like it's either like hell no, I'd never be able to do that, or be like, yeah, I could pull that off.
That's it. That's all you got.
I feel like I could pull that off. No, the thing
I'm
that would
so
be
inquisitive, and Dave's like, "Nah, fuck it." Or, "Yeah, dude, I could do this." I'm like, "I wonder,
no,
like,
I could do it.
why?"
I could pull it off.
Yeah, it's like, I'm the guy looking away. Dave's like, "Fucking run it."
I'm very decisive. Um, I've always thought this about.
I'm spontaneous. I don't know if I'm decisive. Like, if I
No,
gotta think about it, I'm actually probably more likely to not do it. I think if I just fucking I have to just ship everything right away and then think about it.
the number one problem people make, um, or mistake that people make, is they will think so much about their decision that they never make a decision.
Yeah, it's like decision paralysis.
You're 100% of the time better off making a decision, even if it's the wrong one, and then following up with it somehow, than just
Right, do
sitting
something.
there in like purgatory. Like you're better off doing
Decision
something.
purgatory.
Decision purgatory. That's what most people do. They'll just be like, "Well, if I get this one, I might be able to." No, just fucking do one of the options and see where it goes. And if it's the wrong choice, then we're gonna have to fix it. But that's okay because at least we're still moving forward. But people just like intentionally pause their lives to make a choice that they never make. It's the dumbest thing to me. Um, I will say that story. The phone part would be difficult for me, not for me personally, but because my phone constantly goes off.
Oh, you're that popular? Is it Eve?
It no, it's like it's everything. It's like
Business?
yeah, it's work, it's this, it's the people, it's everything. It's just constantly going off.
Do you have notifications on for your apps?
Um, so the ones
How do you rock
I
I
have some of those.
literally only if you can only call me and text me for me to get a notification. If it's a Facebook message, Instagram, I have all that shit off. I have to go on the app myself and then check, like, messages to see if I got a
Yeah,
message.
that shit goes off.
Yeah, because I used to have the shit go off, and then, like, I was always like, "Man, I'm on Instagram a lot," and
Well, Well, the funny thing is, I have
Deep,
90% of the time I
deep
ignore it
addiction.
anyway. But I like having them because in the off chance it is something I want to check out, I want it to come up.
Oh, there you go, David. Dopamine fucking you're on the dopamine jack
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
it?
well, yeah, but
Slot machine.
90,
Slot
yeah, but
machine.
the thing is, like 99% of the time, I'm like, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. I'm almost honestly, it probably has the opposite effect if I'm honest, because I feel like I've trained myself
You're
that
less
90.
likely to choose.
It is. It's like 95% of the time when I hear a ding, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be stupid. Like every time, it's like anti dopamine, whatever the reverse of, like the counter. That's what I get when I hear a ding.
Crash. You're just crash.
Every time.
You're just crash out, Dave.
Yeah, but every once in a while, I'm like, oh, this is a good thing. Uh, Ryan,
They're coming out with a new Jackass. Did you know that?
yeah, and no Bam.
Johnny
I don't know
Knoxville
what
was on Joe
Bam
Rogan.
did to everybody.
Yeah, he went and got married. And I mean, Bam
Is that
literally
what he did though?
dildos on
I
people's
feel like that's
asses. I
because
don't
he
know.
was. I think out of all the people, like if you really look at the cast, and some of them died too. I don't remember which ones, but
Ryan Dunn died.
yeah, he was. But it was like a car crash or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, race car driver hammered.
But
In like a souped up Ford Mustang,
but
Celine Mustang or some shit. He just wrecked it, died.
like some of them were like sobering up or taking on different ventures, and it seemed like Bam was like stuck and he was getting worse when everyone was like improving. And I don't know if it's just one of those things. Like sometimes, you know, I'm sure you've gone through this. Like, but like you're kind of moving forward in life, and people used to be around clearly are either staying the same or getting worse. And it's like I don't even want to be around them now. It's like
I
nothing
literally just said
personal.
today that I've said that I think I came up so far up the mountain that I'm looking down on some of the people. Like they're at the fucking bottom. And it wasn't even like out of it wasn't like I'll show you. It was just like I'm gonna focus on what I'm focusing on and build myself, and then
Yeah,
eventually you put 5 years into yourself, and people put negative 5 years into themselves, and
it's
you
not
wonder
even
why
like
we get different
being.
results.
Yeah, and when like you say that or think that, it's like not insulting to other people. It's just kind of
Exactly.
like the reality. Like this is what I think. Doesn't mean they're terrible
Yes,
people or whatever. It's just like
Dave.
we're in
It's kind of
different
like
places.
when I learned it when at the dealership when Levitt told me, um, he told me that when we do about 3 months of work here, it's actually about like 2 years at another collision shop, like a slower collision shop. And when I started driving around and looking at all the other business, this was when in my mid 20s, before I still don't know how the fucking world works, but I'd be like driving around looking at all these businesses and be like, you're kind of like a small business, a big business. So, and then I started scaling my experience. So it's like, okay, yeah, I worked at a place for 2 years, but the thing I did for 2 years is actually like 10 years of industry standard production. So really, I have 10 years of experience if we're going off the average. And it's kind of like how many if basically if you were to flat rate your experience, right? Like instead of like taking, oh, I took 5 years of medical school. What if you took 5 years of medical school in 2 years? You know what I mean? So within those 5 years, you learn 10 years of medical knowledge instead of 5 years of medical knowledge. It's like if you were to flat rate your life out, like how much shit did you actually learn? Like how many years of experience do you have overall, but you're only 30 something years old? This is very interesting.
Yeah, I think most people don't understand how much more they could push.
Oh, what do you think that is? You think because I just think at some point, David, I was either traumatized, a psychopath, or I just have certain chemical makeup that make me hyper vigilant, and I'm just like, nope, I got to do something. Nope,
I think
I'm bored. I got to do something.
I don't know. I think like when I say most people don't know, I think I mean that literally. Like I think people literally don't know how much more they could push. Like they
You
feel
think it's
like
because they
they're
haven't worked hard enough? Because they've never worked overtime, they don't know that they can work overtime. Basically,
well, kind of maybe, but it's some of it is like we talk about this nature versus nurture right all the time with different things, but like some of it could be nature, but I think it's more nurture. Like maybe they just happen to grow up around people who maybe didn't push as hard. Like I think the best thing you could do
My experience is the people that grew up without people that weren't pushing hard that push hard. I mean, this is me, at least personally. Like, I'm ambitious because I'm from non-ambitious environments.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe, but maybe you're not giving enough credit to some of the
I might be
ambitious
a
environments
rarity.
you're around.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
wasn't like the most ambitious environment in like the entire area. So yeah, I mean,
I think if you're
but maybe I didn't realize it was competition. That's really kind of what I'm saying. It was just like I have to. It wasn't like, oh, I'm competing. It was like,
well,
no,
well,
I have to do this. Like, it wasn't even about others.
well,
Is
like I
what I'm
said,
saying.
it could be a little nature and nurture. I mean, maybe your nature is to kind of pick up on the fact that you had to drive yourself more. But what I mean by
Mhm, mhm.
it could be nurtured is if you picked up like a 17-year-old kid and just had him like shadow a business owner, whatever, plumber, what who cares? Like just shadow a business owner and just watch the way they operate. Cuz even the average business owner who runs a moderately successful business. I'm not even talking about people like
Yeah,
fucking
like 100, like a six-figure business
yeah.
owner. Not
Yeah,
even
I'm
like
not even
even like
talking
eight,
about
bring home 80 grand.
yeah. And like forget talking about
Like
people
a
like
pizza
Elon
place
Musk.
owner.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you could extrapolate that and expand it times a million and you start talking about people like Elon Musk who are just aliens. They're on different planets. It's not even close. But like the average pizza place owner or whatever, like have a 17-year-old literally intern that guy because you're going to find out real quick like shit, this is a different level of thinking. Like the guy who
No wonder he drives a Beamer and I don't.
yeah. And it's no disrespect to people who like work at a pizza place, but like the average person who works at the pizza place versus the guy who owns it, they're different people by just that's why they're in different places because you start to see a little bit more of like, holy shit, I got to do all of this, and to some people it might not even be worth it. Like if you're talking about like you said like a six-figure business, that could be $999,999 a year, like that's right, or it could be 100,000 on the nose, but you know some people might not even see like the the value in doing it. Like they might think like, well, I'd be better off being an accountant
An employee?
for $60,000 a
Oh,
year and just be safe
yeah.
and not have to push that hard. Like yeah, the
That's what most
bosses
people do. Statistically, David, that's what most
sure,
people do.
yeah, of course,
Like 99%, 99.5% of people do that actually.
yeah, I'm
Or
safe.
work
I
for
have
the
a good
government.
salary, right?
Never
I
slept
have
over.
health insurance. What's the average small business owner? He doesn't have health insurance.
Doesn't have vacation time. No sick
Doesn't
days
have
there.
vacation time. You take a day off if you're dying, I guess. But like realistically, you're not really going to take a day off because you know how much everything is going to suffer if you take a week. Like, and you could have a very well established business and you can certainly take some time off. I get it, but I mean, I'm just saying in general, it's just an entirely different person that would operate at that level.
So
And
do you
most
think everybody then could work more in general, David, or do you think there's like a fall off? Like 70% of people aren't cut out for it, so it's only 30% of us that can really work like that, or like
I think
do you could train somebody to be a better worker and work harder or want to work longer? Like what? How do you?
I think so. I do. Yeah, they would have to see it be beneficial to them. I mean, people aren't going to do it just to do it, but if you could convince somebody that it's beneficial for them to push a little harder, I think most people would.
That's the whole. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, or at
it
least if
don't
you
feel
get
like
the
work, right?
sure, or at least at the very least if you get the benefits of, and part of that is like finding out what's important to people because it's not always as crazy as it sounds to people. Like I don't know about you, but for me, it's very much money related. But for some people, it's not. Like some people like would want more
My
vacation time.
number one indicator is income. I could care less about work life balance. I will balance my work and life later, and now, but it's income. And
Mhm.
then like what do I get long term?
Yeah,
So
hundred
income and
percent.
then what does 10 years here get me?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
and
then I go
that's
from
where I'm
there.
at too. But you'd be surprised how many people would like take an extra week vacation over taking a bump in pay.
But then again, baby, David, maybe this goes, David, baby, maybe this feeds into like the idea of that even if I've worked hard jobs or like there was some jobs I wasn't like enthused to go to, I generally didn't mind work where I worked. Like even like when I worked in restaurants, I made that fun,
Hmm.
right? Also, I got free food, so that kind of helped. But like, it didn't. It wasn't like a burden to go to work. You know what I mean? Even if it was like 1 in the morning, I'm making cheeseburgers. It was like, well, I'm freaking college student hanging out with my friends. We're laughing. You know what I mean? Like we're
That's
laughing,
a
having fun, making milkshakes. Like
yeah.
it made work easier.
That's an important
So I
mindset
never
though.
really
'Cause that
hated it.
some people do go in every day and just like hate my job, hate this guy, and it's like you're just
Mhm.
making yourself miserable for no reason. Even if it some of it's true, like even if it's like man, I fucking hate Steve, right? Like
It's
you know,
almost always true. That's what's crazy about it. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, fuck Bill from accountant. Like, yeah, he
well,
really is
fuck
a piece
Bill,
of
yeah.
shit. But it's
I
like,
mean, I guess you
yo,
can
what's up,
not
Bill?
like
What's up,
Bill, but
dude?
like yeah, you could not like Bill, but like don't let it ruin your whole day. Like maybe you have a legitimate reason
But
to not
Bill's
like
got a
Bill.
hot daughter that you could end up marrying.
You should
But
probably start liking Bill then. You should at least be somewhat
he
nice
should
to him.
really like Phil.
You never know about Bill. And Bill could also
Yeah,
be the guy that comes in one day and snaps. So maybe be nice to Bill.
that guy's got an AR-15 in the drive, dude. It's ready.
It is though. It is it is a super important mindset though that you go in no matter what you're doing, even if you know you don't like it. Like at least try to make the best of it because you
Find
really
something you like, right?
you gotta do something. And if you do work at a place truly, like if this is actually a place where you work, where you fucking hate you can't even try to find something you like. You gotta get the fuck out of there.
It will kill you, man. I've literally watched people die like early because they're just like they
I've
get all
never worked
fat.
anywhere that I hated everything and everyone, and maybe that's me. Maybe that's the kind of person I am, or maybe that's just because I happen to pick good places or whatever. But like, if that exists in the world where like you show up and you just literally hate everything, you dread going. Like, I I I, I don't admire that at all.
Quick question here, and we'll show the difference in apple and oranges. David, how many places have you worked, or how many jobs have you had in your life? Number. You can round if you have to.
5 or less.
Oh my god, I'd have to write them down and try to remember.
Yeah,
I'm over fingers and toes.
the place I'm at right now, I've been at for 8 or 9 years, and the place I was before that, I was at 8 or 9 years.
Since the dealership, Dave, where I've worked there for 8 years of my life, that's the longest job I've ever had. And the place since there, I left there in 2018. Since I left there, I didn't work at a place for longer than a year. From 2018 till 2025, which the company I work for right now in the hall, I've been in since last August. It's the longest place I worked at since 2018.
Damn.
Learned a lot of lessons, though. I know we're not on that as a topic, but it is interesting how conversation flows on this program.
There is a case to be made depending on a lot of different situations or whatever. But some people, or sometimes, it's actually extremely beneficial to just to bounce back and forth.
I've made more money almost every time. The only time I didn't make more money was basically because I didn't ask for more money.
Mhm.
I was like, I make this there. They're like,
I
well,
mean,
we can pay you that. It's like, okay, I like, there was one place I left for the same amount of pay just simply because I hated working for the company. I didn't even care. It wasn't, I know I could probably ask for $1 more, but it wasn't even, it was like, dude, I just literally don't want to work for this place.
which
Like,
is
save me.
which is kind
Like,
of
give
crazy
me the
because
fuck out of here.
the reality is the average person, if you stay at somewhere for 10 years, you're not going to get 10 raises.
No, you're not.
But if you bounce, if you're a person who's desirable, by the way, don't take this advice if you're like you have no life experience, or if you're like a, and not anything against this, but like if you
A
literally flip
shitty worker.
burgers, yeah, if you just flip burgers, like you're not gonna bounce to 10 different places and make more money. But if you're like a person who has a skill set of some type, whether it be a trade or like or whatever, you're going to get as many raises as you ask for every time you switch or ask. Like you're just going to get one every time, because the reality is when you're in such a short um, like field, whatever it be, electrician for example, or whatever, like if there's a shortage of your work, your value is literally limitless.
You write your own check, depending on what it is, right? I mean, COVID proved that, right? They just shit out trillions of dollars to whoever because they just needed a problem solved. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I remember in the dealer game, Dave, when I was painting cars still, one of the BOCES teachers said that they had to close one of the programs at one of the local vocational training centers for like high school kids. And I looked at Body Shop TS and I was like, you're gonna
Hmm.
have to pay me a lot of money in the future, dude. Be worth a lot of fucking money.
A
And
lot,
then cars stop
honestly.
smashing into each other, David.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly, a lot of people in like that kind of field, like collision people, painters, technicians, whatever. It's a shortage. You don't have an
Oh,
influx of
dude,
people coming in.
Gary V, I keep catching the video. He's like, electricians are gonna make like $350,000 a year soon. It's like with all these fucking data centers, are you kidding me? Now it could be a bubble, like everybody's saying, but I just think it's so funny. It's like, yeah, dude, like you're gonna go rush to be an electrician with everybody
Well,
else. It's already too late.
I
Not
don't
that we
know
won't need you by the time you're done trained, but like in 5 years, all the money's gonna be made.
if it is a bubble, which it can be, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing for the people in the trade. Um,
No.
Here's the deal. We're talking about AI uh, data server centers. We're talking about solar farms, which are popping up fucking everywhere. Um, like every single one of those places, have to be built, which takes a long time and a lot of labor. And then B, after they're built, you don't just set them and forget them. They need to be maintenance. Like the shit is not just gonna go away. And AI sure as fuck isn't going away. So and AI requires what? It requires power. So like we're gonna have to boost.
Research and development too. The money they're gonna
Yeah.
have to spend to just get like the next phase of AI is
Hmm.
gonna be crazy.
Yeah. And
Like
then
some have saying we're kind of on the upward bandwidth of like AI that we're like middle of the curve of like, yo, to get like 1 point difference of better technology, we're gonna have to spend 10 times the amount of money we've already spent to just move like this is like why cell phones don't get any better. You know what I mean? Because like we're balls deep on AI almost already. It's kind of interesting.
yeah. Yeah, so like again, if it is a bubble, like it's still if it is a bubble, it's still a multiple decade bubble. Like it's not just gonna burst like the housing market. I mean, we're talking 30 years, right? Like it's
Well, the government's also tied into it, right? Back to the housing market thing. That was
sure.
all private, so it is a little different.
Yeah, well, that problem was
Oh, dude, I have a,
sponsored.
I have a, I have a theory. I don't actually know if this is true. Maybe we can check with Gronk. Does getting rid of the penny get rid of the dollar even faster? And I don't mean, yes, I know they're getting rid of money, right? We've established on a program. I mean that. But what I'm saying is they necessarily, the government, this is, doesn't necessarily even need to get rid of nickels, dimes, quarters because it will naturally happen. Because when you think about it, the rounding thing, right? I never thought about the penny being important until I realized that the penny's the only reason that we have like divisible. The only reason we have numerical. You can have 9 digits because we have pennies on all prices. But now with no penny, you can only have a 5 or a 0. So you eliminate 8 numbers.
Uh,
So
may-
nickels will naturally start going to dimes. Dimes will start being turned into quarters. And what I mean by that is like you'll go to the store, right? And it will be 11:30, right? So you'll have 3 dimes,
mhm.
or it'd be 11:35. Like what I mean by that is those nickels that you're giving them, you're gonna get a dime back or get a nickel back. So like it's gonna take 2 nickels to get a dime. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like literally would the nickel naturally get phased out into dimes because now since we only have a 0 or a 5 as a digit, we have no way to keep money from disappearing now. Like literally, it's not about the government getting involved. It's just simple arithmetic. And the only reason that the penny was ever there to begin with was to stop this from happening. Like if you don't have a single unit of measurement for dollars or change, you can't maintain that a dollar won't be the lowest currency or $100 won't be the
There's
lowest currency
well,
because
okay,
these things are going to just start snowballing into each other. Do you
exactly.
understand
So
what I mean now?
here's the thing. So yeah, for sure. Um, I think what ditching the penny is as crazy as it seems. Um, it is a step towards hyperinflation. Because if you start to think about it, it's like, well, if I don't need the penny, they could
It's the
justify
only
that.
way to make it incremental. The only way to measure incremental money is by a penny. Like literally, it's a hundredth of a dollar. We now cannot measure in a hundredth of a dollar. We have to measure in
Well,
like a
for
50th of a
example, though, right?
dollar,
Like,
right?
and not a lot of stuff is 9 cents, but I'm going to say this to make an example. If something was 9 cents, what is the alternative now? It has to be 10 cents,
10,
right?
yes.
Okay, but if we start to
But if it's 6 cents, it's a nickel, David. So,
sure, well, no, it'd be 10 cents. I guarantee you that.
well, Tim Horton said it's going to be 5 cents. But why, if you were a business owner, why would you ever make the list price that you're going to round up to a six or a six, seven, and you just make it an 8 or a 9 so you could round it up to the next zero?
It's well, exactly, and what it's going to be is it's going to be fucking 10. Is what it's going to be. I'm just telling you,
I don't
it's going
think
to
we
be.
ever broke down the penny thing on this program. I'm actually glad. I had this thought the other day. I was actually talking about the guys at work about it. Like, I didn't think about the hyperinflation thing,
Mhm.
Dave, which is basically what I'm saying, but at a literal sense. Like,
Well, because I'm
I like
thinking,
walk you through how it's going to physically happen
yeah,
because the math is just there.
but I'm
Like, you're going
thinking,
to lose 2 coins to get a coin. So it's naturally going to phase out physical change into the highest next digit, which is so there will be no dimes then, or there will only be dimes, right? So dimes and quarters and dollars is all we'll have. And then does a dollar become what, $5 then? Right? Like
well,
the
that's the
dollar
thing, and
disappears, but we still have nickels and
end
quarters.
goal is just physical currency doesn't exist.
Hmm.
Everything's
So do
digital.
you think you got to smash that with inflation then for people to rationalize it? Like as the people that are awake historically, like in order for people to be okay with it, basically not overthrow the government and tell them we know what you're doing, we have to like go through the semantics of like, oh, well, it just costs too much to make the penny. So it's because that was their argument. Like, well, it costs too much. It's like, does it cost too much, or it's the only thing keeping us from measuring in a hundredths of a dollar, which may be more important than the cost of the penny, which is probably why we've been printing the
Well,
penny.
let's let's say there was some deep agenda, right? And it was to get rid of physical money.
All coincidence, David,
Yeah,
and a
let's
social
just say
credit score and
it
trackable
happened to
currency.
exist, right? Let's just play. Let's role play, right? We are these people, okay? We're sitting around a big fucking table, and we're trying to figure out how to get rid of physical currency, make it all digital currency. Then we can change the values of money on a whim, and we can kind of cater it to whatever
It
way
can
we want to
also
cater it.
selectively price people, David, which is something that hasn't been talked about. A customer I worked for talked about. He said the thing I'm worried about is when they get rid of physical numbers when you buy a product, like how there's a physical price tag. He's like, Kohl's is the only one that I know of. This the customer said that has a digital price tag. I was like, oh, what are you like worried that they're going to jack the price up by the second? He's like, yeah, but also per customer. So they'll make some people pay more
Sure.
and they'll make
Now
some
let's
people
say
pay less.
sure. Let's say there's a QR
What
code.
if it's tied to my cell phone?
What? Yeah. Well, what if it's tied to your social credit score, Ryan?
Exactly. I have to pay 10% more because I hate the government.
These are all things
Oh,
that.
dude, you can still shop here. You can still shop here. You just have to pay the Patriot.
Mhm.
You have to because well, you like America. You want freedom of speech, right? Well, you got to pay 10% more on your gas
Yeah, I mean, if you want
if
to
you
take
want to
this
say fuck
thing
the government.
to the most extremes, I mean, this is kind of where it goes, right?
And then does my electric car charge slower because I said something that violated community guidelines?
Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Why does everybody got to live in a 15-minute city? Oh, so you're not able to drive and leave the house. And to
Yeah.
think that it starts with the penny, David. This all starts with Abraham Lincoln. Honest
How come
Abe.
my electric car only
Abe
has
was keeping
400 miles of range? You don't need it.
dude, maybe that's why Abraham Lincoln is on the penny. He was the only thing keeping the federal government's Fed, the printing press honest. It was honest Abe, David, keeping us all in check. That's why it was brown. You ever wonder why it's the only copper one? No, nobody.
Uh,
No.
Ryan, what do you think about Greenland? Do you think anything's actually
I
going to
really
happen?
like.
We're going to buy Greenland.
I don't know. I really like the idea that we like looked up how much Greenland's worth or whatever, and then we're like, oh, we'll just that's like nothing for the United States.
There's a yeah, we actually
You
should
know,
buy.
we were doing that, but we hate BlackRock buying up single family homes. We are
Oh,
not the
sure, but
same
like,
people.
yeah, but if I'm BlackRock, I'm not going to hate BlackRock, right? Uh, there's people posting videos going around in Greenland, and they're pretending to be Americans who are on fentanyl, and I'm not going to lie, it's kind of fucking funny.
The Fentful, dude.
All right, that's kind of funny. I think we could buy Greenland. I think I'd get along with these people.
Check, dude. We could. They like free speech there, so
I think we looked it up already. There's like not that many people in Greenland, right?
yeah, no, it'd be like $50 billion to pay them all off or something.
Yeah, it wasn't much. Speaking of paying people off, Trump is floating this $2,000 tariff idea again.
What $2,000 tariff idea?
It's about a like a stimmy. Remember the old stimuluses from the COVID days? He's talking about
Oh, I'm,
floating
I'm
like
gonna get
a
Trump bucks again.
yeah Trump bucks 2K Trump bucks for the tariffs because they've generated so much revenue. Um, Listen,
Do we believe this, or are we just like
do I believe it?
buying votes now? Are we
A
just buying votes now?
100% midterms are coming. Yeah, if it happens, it's happening before the midterms for sure. He's even said, "I'm just gonna do it without Congress," which I don't think that's how that works, but sure.
Pretty sure it says right in there they have the power of the purse. It's literally
No,
the language they
fuck
use.
them. I'm gonna send it out signed by Trump.
Fuck 'em. We
I
get
don't.
Trump bucks with my face. I should be on the dollar,
The thing
not
that people,
Washington.
the thing that people don't understand about Trump is that he very well knows he can't do that. But if he says that I'm just gonna do it without Congress, now everyone knows if you don't get $2,000, it's specifically because of Congress. Like he's just playing the game. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, because look on TV.
Well, Trump said he was going to give me 2K, and like, you must be the only
No, dude,
ones. Like, what the fuck? Send me my money.
it's so fucking good. Because you'd be like, I'm gonna send the 2,000, and then next day at CNN, Trump wants to give every American $2,000. He can't do that without Congress. And then they're like, yeah, what's he fucking retarded? And then they look at the camera like, fuck.
Oh, shit, that means we're the only ones standing in the way.
Only we're a week goes by, and then you're like, you would have got Trump bucks, but those greedy Democrats down in Washington, they need to be replaced. It's beautiful. It's simply beautiful. Simply beautiful.
um,
Without Congress, he can't do this. He needs Congress authorizes the power of the purse. Well, Republicans are in power. Should be pretty easy to give out every
yeah, it
American
feels
$2,000
yeah, it
here.
feels like this would be really easy
Should
to
be
do. All you guys have to do is just say yes.
Oh man, fucking Sean McCartney from whatever state, you're fucking fired, dude. I'm firing you this election.
Um,
Whew, politics, dude. I love it. It's better than the Bills game, dude. Honestly, what do you think
well,
about?
speaking of politics, Ryan, uh, Democrats in Virginia have apparently introduced a bill to eliminate mandatory minimum sentencing for just like minor like charges,
Like
rape,
what?
rape, manslaughter, assaulting law enforcement officers, possession and distribution of child pornography, and any repeat violent felonies. So nothing super crazy.
Just like the most heinous crimes that one can do to people.
I mean, manslaughter is not like crazy, crazy.
It's not as bad as woman slaughter.
It's not. Yeah, it's no first degree murder, right?
What's the difference? Manslaughter is like by accident.
I thought that was the like. I thought that was the stipulation. I was pretty sure that was it.
Is first degree like your, or is that, I know it's premeditated, but what's the difference between like a first degree crime and a third degree crime? Like I've never understood that. Like
Um,
the closer to one it is, the worse it is, right?
yeah,
Like one is the worst.
yeah, but I think that I think the differences vary based on the crime. I'm pretty sure murder and manslaughter are both forms of homicide, Ryan. But they are distinct crimes in most legal systems, particularly in the United States, where laws vary somewhat, but follow common principles. The core differences lies in the mental state and level of intent. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. Like if you're driving drunk, for example, and your passenger dies in a car accident, I think that's manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
But if you're driving in the car with them and you stab them with a knife, that's murder.
Or you purposely drive into a tree.
Yeah, which would be fucking crazy. Yeah, that would be murder.
You bet. Fuck you.
Malice. Yeah, malice, 100%. Um,
Is that get a rope?
no, it is not.
Hey, Brooks, what's up, dude?
Get,
What's up, dude?
Rope's been he's been around. He's been around, right?
Yeah, I know. He dabbed at us the other day. He was hanging around.
Ryan, the World Economic Forum people seem to be back in full force.
If there's anybody to hang, it's these people. I will gladly pay 15% more on my gasoline for that.
Larry Fink from BlackRock, he
Mhm.
said at a World Economic Forum conference that the elites have lost public's trust. I love the. I don't know at what point he made that realization, but hopefully it was a while ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, through all human history, this happens, first of all. And, like, did they actually, like, think they had trust from us?
Uh,
Is there a clip? Is there a clip of this?
it's really short. Here, I'll pull it up.
I have to hear this. They have to
It's
admit
not.
they're
It's
losing the
not.
info war.
It's not. Yeah. It's very very short.
That the world now places far less trust in us to help shape what comes next. If the World Economic Forum is going to be useful going forward, it has to regain that trust. That the world.
Yeah, the World Economic Forum. We've been hammering on this for a while. Like these people are fucking crazy. Do you remember the what was that group called? Was it like Agenda 2021 or something? What the hell? I always forget what the fuck it was called. That conference pre-COVID that was literally they played out like COVID in real time before it happened.
It's in New York City, right?
Mm-hmm. Now you tell me this
Or
shit.
Toronto.
I need to see if I can find this now.
Yo, and also for those who's playing at home on the bingo board, 2026 started. Regain trust means you destroy, remove, or murder anybody that says anything that would go against that trust building for the elites. I don't know if you guys know that. Nate Brooks, were you on YouTube?
I'm
on
trying.
YouTube.
YouTube. Who YouTube? Get on Rumble. Come on. Event 201. Does everyone remember this? This was another thing we kind of just stumbled upon on the show. The conference is called Event 201, a high-level pandemic tabletop simulation exercise held in New York City on October 18th, 2019, just a couple months before the reports of COVID-19 emerged in Wuhan, China, right? Okay, so in things that are the most coincidental things of all time, Event 201 is probably the top of the list. John Hopkins Centers for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It was at the Pierre Hotel in New York, New York. A 3.5-hour tabletop exercise, not a full conference with speakers. It involved 15 prominent participants from global business, government, public health, and other sectors. Remember what was the term they used? It was like private-public enterprise or something. The exercise simulated a hypothetical novel coronavirus outbreak originating from pigs in Brazil. Now, the craziest shit. For one, the fact that they simulated it was the coronavirus is crazy. It was a zoonotic animal to human transmission, highly contagious, immune resistant, and spread globally with no vaccine available in the first year. The simulation ran over 18 months, projecting catastrophic outcomes like 65 million deaths, economic collapse, misinformation crises, supply chains breakdowns, and challenges in coordination between governments, private sectors, and international bodies.
It literally happened. All those happened, I think. I don't think there's 65 million deaths, though. Well, to be honest, afterwards, right? Because they said people are going to starve after this.
It says context and
They
timing.
shut the
Apparently, this was the fourth such exercise by the Johns Hopkins Center, following others like Dark Winter in 2001, Atlantic Storm, and Clade X. The goal was preparedness, not prediction. Okay. The scenario's use of fast-spreading coronavirus made it seem eerily, similar to COVID-19. It is eerily similar, you could say. It's all coincidental, I suppose.
COVID-19 is a type of coronavirus, David. Clearly.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, I really should do like an actual super deep dive on this one time, because I feel like there's shit involved in this that people haven't even to the amount of people I've heard even mention Event 201 outside of us is precisely zero. Like, I don't think that many people even know.
I heard about it from Duncan Trussell on Joe Rogan's program. And then we talked about it shortly after that.
Interesting. I literally haven't heard it from anybody else. It's way too fucking similar. There's no way. Like, I gotta say, one of those people. I will be impossible to convince that was coincidental. Like, trying to convince me that 2 months before the first reports of COVID, there was a conference that involved all the people involved in COVID, and it was very specifically coronavirus, and it very specifically had animal to human transmission, which was the story that they tried to tell us. It was bats, right? Or dogs.
Mm-hmm. Raccoon dog
and a bat sandwich or something. And then we found out that there happened to be a lab that created the virus, and literally was named after the virus, in China. And, everyone kind of looked at that and said, it seems very likely that it would have leaked from this lab that was named after the virus. that was in the place that everyone said the outbreak occurred. Like
Conspiracy
all
theories.
this, yeah, conspiracy. It's all coincidence. All of this, just like the fact that all of this happened at the same time, just seems so fucking unlikely. I can be convinced of a coincidence if it's like literally,
An
one.
actual coincidence?
Well, if it's like one coincidental thing, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's a little weird, and like nothing else ties together. Be like, yeah, that must be a coincidence. If I have 28 coincidences like that,
It wasn't the fact that Fauci also had a pandemic of AIDS that was botched, and that he was also one of the directors that sit on the NIAH funding for coronavirus through the fucking Congress that writes a check there for gain of function reason. That definitely, those aren't coincidences. You mean stuff not
there's
like that, David?
there's so many coincidences. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it was literally just one thing,
Guy should
if
hang
it
in
was
public.
one, yeah, if it was one thing, like, oh, Fauci happened to be involved in this thing, and he was also the guy with AIDS, right? I'd be like, okay, one coincidence.
Guy literally murdered people, and we're all like, yeah, he's fucking great.
Yeah,
Guy literally murdered people. He
he's Ryan.
murdered literally your grandparents. He
Well,
murdered my
we can't do anything,
daughter's
Ryan.
great grandmother.
He was auto pen pardoned forever, and for
Auto
anything
pen
he's ever
pardoned.
does in the future and everything that he did in the past. So you
Are
certainly
pardons for future crime as well?
it's
For future crime?
yeah, it's for everything, Ryan. You just can't go after him. If you could,
So
if you
literally
could,
the only way to get back at them is to kill them, is what you're telling me. Because we can't get them. We can't get these people legally.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you can. Not saying you
I'm
can't.
not saying I want to, David.
Yeah.
I am not calling for violence. You too
No, would
clearly. I'm
never.
not calling for
Would
violence.
never do such a thing.
Would never call for Anthony Fauci to hang in public for treason for poisoning humanity. I would definitely never call for that in public, David.
Ryan, I like half-ass mentioned this yesterday because I didn't think it was really that. I didn't think it was that crazy, but it seems like this has like very much caught on now, and this is becoming a thing. So I mentioned yesterday that there were a few people who may have been in a club in Miami, and they may have been listening to a song from Kanye West, and it did the little clip that I thought was going to be like a little clip has kind of turned into a thing. People are Patrick Bet David interviewed Andrew Tate to ask him about it because he was involved, and certainly a lot
What
of
did Tate
people.
say?
He said he wasn't super on board with the whole thing. It's not like he requested the song, and whatever. He's at the same time he's like, I'm friends with X people, and I'm not going to call them out. I believe it was Sneeko. He's getting calls that he's banned from all the clubs in Miami and all the stuff. So I mean, I saw it. I kind of laughed and I thought, well, that's crazy. And then I like moved on with my life. But apparently, people are taking this very, very seriously.
They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
They're just trolling at this point, bro.
Well, that's 100%.
They're just doing it on purpose. Look at Tristan Tate. He's laughing his fucking ass off. Just doing it on purpose.
Very much so. And I don't know.
On purpose.
I don't know how long
Tristan
they
Tate
plan
looks like he was having a fucking blast, dude. I think they're just going to they're getting rich. What if you just double down? I mean, Trump's what? We got 3 more years of Trump here?
Why wouldn't you? The problem
is it's MAGA porn, dude. It's red pill porn. Like this
is the most like human nature thing possible. But like the more you tell somebody they can't do something, the more they want to do children. That trait never goes away. So the more
it definitely gets worse when I can say whatever the fuck I want and I don't have to bear the immediate social consequence of like having to get punched in the face. Right, like because I can say the N-word on the internet and you're not right next to me to hold me accountable. Yeah, it's way worse now. I'd argue that shit happens more now than ever before. It's easier now to be a scumbag than ever before in human history. Because like you used to have to look at motherfuckers and be like, "You're a piece of shit," and then he'd punch you or whatever. You know, like you had a threat. There's an immediate
Well, we talked
threat of
about that.
social violence.
That shaped men for like literally centuries, right? There was everyone knew there was that like immediate threat of violence, and you know, I will say whatever I think I need to say, but I will do so knowing that there could be violence, and I have to be ready for the violence, right? And if I'm not ready for the violence, then I can't. This is like literally shaped human nature forever. But if I can't handle that, now I'm going to be an agreeable person, right? Because now I know that if there's a threat of violence and I can't hold my own, I'm going to lose, and now like I'm not going to make a change anyway. But if I can win, I'm not really worried about the threat of violence. So now I can kind of play with that and be a little more disagreeable.
Disagreeable Jesus.
Disagreeable Jesus. He probably should have been a little more agreeable. He,
He might be still alive, David.
for those who don't
Ben
remember,
Shapiro just thinks that he was some Jew that tried overthrowing the Roman government, and then in the process of just overthrowing the Roman government, became more powerful than all of the continents of the globe put together. But he's just some Jew. My dad told me some shit the other day, dude. Fuck with you. He's like, you'll look like Christ the older you get. I was like, you just gotta say shit like that. You know? You just gotta say shit like that.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either. He just like drops. My dad will say such weird shit out of nowhere. And I think you got to get to a certain age. It's got to be like 55 plus. I think when people get to that age, their words just become natural mysticism. So like anything they say, you think could happen. Like, oh yeah, grandma said that we're gonna win the lottery tomorrow. You're like, I don't know, grandma's 65. She fucking been around the block. It's weird. Human nature. Sorry, David. I didn't mean to just think about the old man. Camouflage Messiah.
Paper mache Jesus.
Paper mache Jesus, one of the greatest nicknames I've ever come up with, for sure.
No, I do think though, like we've talked about this in the past with actual Hitler, and the mistake everyone makes is that if you don't ever look inward, if you don't ever figure out why that was able to take place, you're going to have it happen again. So that's not to blame everybody for Hitler. Obviously, Hitler is the most responsible person for Hitler, but it would be important to look inward and say, like, what events led to Hitler taking power? Because obviously he didn't just like walk into Germany and just be like, okay, I'm the chancellor now. It's not how it happened. He had to build a following. He had to gain the power, and then he had to manage to keep the power, and then he had to be so convincing with his power that he convinced people to do things that people normally would not do on their own, right? So, but the reason I'm saying all that is you can relate that and scale it in any direction you want. So, you know, obviously real Hitler is worse than people dancing in the club to a Hitler song, but what leads to it is actually the same, just scaled down.
How did they know so much about human nature but didn't have psychology?
Well, that's like we just gave it a name, but that's what it is, right?
They weren't writing books, though.
They've been writing books for
Like Hitler didn't have Dostoevsky to like go crack a spine on. Like, yeah, I'm gonna read about fucking, man's search of meaning. Like, but they knew how to like manipulate people so well. Who was it? Grugel, the propaganda minister for Hitler. What was his name? Can you look it up? That guy, like, how did he get his education on how to propagandize people? Like, where did the school of propaganda even come from? I mean, because Carl Jung didn't develop clinical psychology till like the fucking 50s.
Yeah, but you got to remember what that actually is, right? Like, the,
Well, I understand. It's just you holding space for a human to explain how they feel on the inside, and then you look at patterns over population. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, I know what you said as well, David. You're obviously correct. It is, they already knew human nature. We just call it psychology now. I get that. But like, where were they like, was there like a library of fucking human nature written down? So, you know what I mean? Like, did they just read the Bible and be like, well, over time, people op like, I think it's easier to realize you're doing psychology because we have the term and we have schools of psychology than 100 years ago when you were just observing people and being very observant and then you call it patterns. Like, I think those require very different, like, look, I guess here's what I'm saying. When the government does something and uses propaganda now, they know how to manipulate human psychology to almost the T because they have the research and the data from actual psychology, right? Like, they know how to move population masses with Overton window and double speak and all the shit that we cover. They know how to do that with psychology. That's actually the premonition of this program is you undo, right? That's what we do here. We just undo their programming and show you the plan, right? But if they didn't have psychology in Hitler's time to do that, how the fuck did they know what to do? And I know it is, we can go back to, it's like the old sayings, like treat others how you want to be treated, right? Like the things that make the most sense and mean the most, they last the longest. I get that. But like, where's the propaganda school for World War II Hitler? Like, what did that guy study to be so good at propaganda?
I don't think you have to study as much as you think you have to study. You have to just. I,
You don't blindly come up. I
it's not
understand what
blind.
you mean. I just,
Yeah. It's human. It's human interaction. Like, I mean, some people just kind of get
but
it.
you have to care. The person that's good at it has to care enough and know enough about patterns to be able to manipulate populations. I guess what I'm saying is, how do you manipulate the populations if you didn't have the data? Because the data wasn't compiled because psychology didn't
Well,
exist yet.
let me say this. You can create um like a cultural climate where it's easier to propagandize people. And that's what I mean by
Do
looking
you think it
inward.
was?
That's what I mean by
Do you
looking
think it was
inward. Though.
more
Like the things
raw?
I think the things that led to Hitler's power are the same things that made it easier for people to be convinced to do things that they normally wouldn't do, because you have to remember
So you're saying
Germany.
it was easier, it was easier to psychologically program people then than now because we didn't know what we know now?
I don't think then now. I think in their specific.
It was like a more raw type of propaganda, like it was more captivating or more
Well,
primal?
let me just explain historically, because you have to put yourself in 1930s Germany, right? So look at what the average German was going through in the 1930s, right, or the late, the 20s and the 30s after World War One.
Goals.
Yeah, Joseph
The fuck's
Goebbels, right?
goals?
That's
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
propaganda
thank
minister.
you.
So
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
in 1920s, 1930s Germany, right? They just got out of World War One. There was the Treaty of Versailles, right? And this absolutely crushed the German economy by design. It destroyed the German economy. It didn't allow them to have a strong military. Um, it 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 really did, like, absolutely crush Germany. So it blamed Germany for everything. It decimated them, and the people were feeling the effects of that. And when you have a population that feels like they're singled out and that they're in a bad spot, they start to become desperate. And that is when Hitler starts to come to light. And now you're talking about a man who is so ferociously sticking up for the Germans, that it made it easy for the Germans to kind of cling to what he was saying. And it also built a little bit of trust, because it's like, finally, here's a guy who's sticking up for my country. Remember, Hitler did not come into power stating that he was going to exterminate Jews. That was not how that went down at all. We've talked about this before in the past. Like, he didn't just be like, oh, I'm going to kill all the Jews, and everybody's like, okay, I'm voting for that guy. Like, that is not the historical context at all. He came to power because he was the man he was the strong nationalist who was fighting for his country when nobody else was. And that was appealing to the people. And it snowballed very slowly, but very quickly at the same time, if that makes sense. And people a little more started going along with it. How did he get people to get on board with the idea of exterminating the Jews is what's actually very interesting, because it's a propaganda campaign. It does involve shifting blame, scapegoating, right? All this stuff. And ironically, it's kind of what happened to the Germans in a way, right?
To Germans.
They were kind of scapegoated. And that's kind of what
They were the
the
Jews of
whole thing.
World War One. Yeah, they were the Jews of World War
A
One.
little bit, obviously, in very different ways. But they were crushed economically. They weren't literally, exterminated. But yeah, I mean, there's, again, and you can scale that in any way. Now scale it all the way up to what we were talking about. And, if you don't want a Nick Fuentes to be in the public spotlight, then you're going to have to change the way you're delivering your messaging, because you're driving people away to other outlets. That's how people like that get into the position they're in.
Yeah, he's like I said the other day, he's the DLC avatar. They'll pay 1/10 of 1/100th of a Bitcoin and send them $10 worth of their American dollars in Bitcoin to have him represent them in this scenario, this DLC scene, right? I'm mythologicalizing video game terms in the real sense here, because that's basically what we're doing when you super chat people, when you donate to political parties. You're basically just buying them as DLC characters to represent you. They're your avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And then now here we are. Weird, man. So yeah, you called the shot again, David. You were ahead of the curve again. I mean, it's obviously a blind man could see this one, but it's just cool that once again on the program.
Yeah, I really didn't think it was going to be that crazy, honestly. If anything,
So it's not being received well at all. Like, it's not even.
Well, I didn't think it'd be received well. I just thought
people are tripping. Or people tripping, though, is what I'm asking.
I thought they would have looked at the people involved. It was Myron Gaines and Sneeko and Nick Fuentes, and Tate was there, or whatever. I thought people would have been like, yeah, that's not surprising, and moved on with their life.
Kind of what we did. Like, this is just what these people do.
That's what I did. I was like, yeah, I mean, you get Fuentes and Sneeko and fucking.
If they didn't have that song on, I would have been more mad
like,
they
what are you
didn't
doing?
have the song on.
Yeah,
what do you guys? You guys missed this one opportunity for this photo op of like the.
Yeah, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yo, it would have been sweet if we would play the Heil Hitler song by Kanye. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we messed up.
Dude,
we messed up.
You want to talk about things we hit way ahead of time? We played that song on our show like a year ago. Holy shit. It's I stand by the fact that that song shouldn't be good because of
shouldn't be as good as it is.
Yeah, like because of the content of the song. I get it. Like, it's a terrible song based on the content. Full disclosure. If you just
look at the lyrics, it's a terrible song. But if you look at like cultural impact, the way he pissed everybody off, if you add all the other things, it's like one of the greatest songs. It's almost as good as WAP, David. Just remember, 2/3 of the planet's population has heard WAP one time.
We're gonna make a top 3, and I guarantee those 2 songs are in it. Yeah, no, full disclosure. Fucking obvious.
What would be the third, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we can come up with them. The national anthem, I think. National anthem, WAP, HH by EA. Then I think that rounds them out. It's a hell of a top 3.
Star Spangled Banner is definitely 3 on the list, though. I'm sorry.
I'm joking, obviously.
Yeah, Heil Hitler's number 1. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest and only podcast left in human history. As always, David, I appreciate you the most for your time, and I will see everybody later. And, I said poor Josh Allen the other day?
Yeah.
Poor Sean McDermott. I'm still thinking about those guys, dude.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Serious question. Do you think he even tries anymore after 9 times?
What do you mean?
Like, Allen, do you think he's a competitor and will still keep trying?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's.
Or do you think you just give him?
No, fuck no. I mean, that's literally the whole reason.
He's only got like 9 more seasons in there.
I mean, he's got. I mean, with the way
He plays for 15 seasons?
Yeah, he holds up pretty well, though. I mean, he really has.
So 6 seasons? Well. He's got 6 more seasons.
In like a prime, probably, yeah. I think he's got 6 more seasons where he's actually good, and then he's going to start to decline a bit.
He's going to get an alcoholic problem. Pull a Roethlisberger, roofie, women in the bed. Dave Ryan, 1773. Catch us on Rumble. See you.